That's my boy. No, my boy!
Father, help!
What's up, guys? Welcome to Logged and Loaded, episode number the next one. And today we have a very special episode because we're going to be talking about UK's strongest natural man and woman, which was on Saturday. So
Yes, it was.
A few days ago at time of recording. And what a fucking competition it was.
It was fucking amazing. You might, if you're watching the video and not just listening, you might be able to see something on the table.
And it's not our phones.
It's not our phones, no. It's not our microphone stand.
No, it is...
I'm not using.
What is it? Please tell me all about it.
It is a Guy Atlas trophy.
Yeah.
It is at first place in the 105s.
That fucking, yeah.
Won by
it
myself.
is. Yes, you did. In glorious fashion.
In glorious fashion,
By
yes.
11 points.
Yes.
It was probably your best performance ever at a comp.
Yeah, I think I didn't really do poorly on any event, but the events just went my way as possible, really.
Yeah.
no other way to put it.
There's not really. I mean, your lowest placing was 5th, which
Yep.
is on the deadlift, which is, to be honest, it's usually something that we expect.
Yeah.
But like the rest of the events...
Even then, that was like a 7 rep PB.
It wasn't a 7 rep PB. You did 8. You've not only done one.
I did 2 at 270.
Was it only 2?
Yeah, I did
Wow.
2 at 270.
Wow. All right.
Because that was the day my hamstring just went, nope.
Oh, okay, fair
I
enough.
managed 8 at 260,
Yes. Yeah.
but I managed 2 at 270.
It's pretty fucking good, isn't it?
So,
Yeah.
and then that was after two events, and that push, carry, drag, as much as it was fast, I was fucked after that.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
My quads were just on fucking
We're
fire.
saying on the live stream, like, it's just, that event is just such a test of conditioning.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a naughty cunt, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was much nicer that it was on that concrete than the turf.
Well, I just assumed people would be slipping and sliding all over, but it didn't happen. Every time somebody put a sandbag into the fucking sled, I thought it's just going to yeet the sled another 5 meters or so, but it never happened.
A few people did slip and slide.
Why did Matej decide to take the sled 15 meters instead of 10 meters?
He says he tripped.
He fucking didn't.
So you watch his video and his feet kind of like stumble a bit, and then he like fucking launches the sled into
right,
the barrier. But his mum was berating him for he come off and his mum was proper having
Good.
to go at him.
As she should do.
Because like he probably would have beaten. Was it Joe Edwards he drew with?
Yeah,
time-wise?
yeah.
Like same time over the line. If he'd pulled it from where he's meant to be pulling it from, rather than 2 meters behind the line, he probably would have beat Joe Edwards.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. I definitely think he didn't draw with Joe Edwards. I think Joe won.
Do you think?
Yeah, it looked like it on the replay. But it wouldn't have changed the scores or anything, so it didn't really make any difference.
Joe was still far enough behind him.
Right, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go through all of the results in all the classes. We're going to talk about them for a little bit, talk about some notable performances, and just have a bit of a fucking natter about the competition itself, basically, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start with the women's, and we will start with the under 57s. Now, we did do a prediction video on the Natural Strongman podcast, and some of our predictions were good, some of them weren't.
Yep.
But overall, I think we did a decent job.
Yeah, I'd like to think we, as a whole, we were relatively close.
Yeah.
With
So
Melbourne.
important to note, the top 5 go to Europe's.
Yes,
And
top
then
5 go to Europe's, top 2 auto qualify for Worlds.
Oh, was it only 2? I thought it was 3. Oh, shit, okay, all right, fair enough then. So top 5 to Europe's, top 2 to Worlds. So under 57s, we may as well do the top 5. In 5th place, we had Becky Lewis. In 4th place, Amy Coyle. And then your podium was, I think it was Elsa Bissett. Then it was Lizzie Nightingale and Tam Ribton Turner, TRT.
Yes, TRT indeed.
And she was fucking phenomenal, wasn't she? She was
Yeah.
really fucking good. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really watch a lot of the women's. I was kind of on and off with it because
Yeah.
I was in, at the time, I had a nice lie-in because I'd had a bit of a fuck about with my Airbnbs.
Yes, you had.
So I wanted some sleep. And then I kept checking in to see where they were for the women's, just so I knew what time to head to the venue, and then I watched probably the last 2 events.
All right, okay. So you
but-
got a bit in.
Yeah, I got a bit in, and yeah, even then you just look at the scores that you hit.
Well,
First, second, third, fourth.
yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, like, she was the only woman in the class who hit the heavy log, and I think
Yeah.
she did it for like 5. And then on the deadlift,
Yeah,
she
65 for 5.
She did 18 reps on the deadlift, mate. She just would not
Fuck
stop.
me.
She was just repping constantly
Yeah,
for
you
the
see,
entire
like,
time.
even then, like Lizzie Nightingale hitting 13 reps on the deadlift is like, that's a solid number that was winning most categories.
18 reps is nearly a rep every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. No, that is insane. And
Yeah.
the fact she was just going and going and going as well, it wasn't like...
She's class. I think she'd be my favourite for Europe's if she goes, and quite possibly Worlds as well if she goes to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, we'll just quickly gloss over this one. So the juniors was just Taylor Southgate. So she just came out, did 1 rep on the lighter log, and then they just gave her first place because there's no fucker else in the class.
No.
But she did also do another class. But we'll move on to the... Which one do you want to move on to?
64.
64s. Let's try and find the 64s. Right, go on. So there's a bit of a smaller class in the 64s. There's only 5 athletes.
Yeah. Bit different, but...
Yeah, normally the 64s is one of the more populated classes, but for whatever reason, people have chosen to skip this event and go straight to Europe's or whatever.
Yeah, so you pick like Will O'Brady skipped it to go straight to Europe.
the former champ.
I think she just felt she had nothing else to prove and wanted to focus on going to Europe's and having a really good shot at winning that and being the first 64 champion.
Which is going to be pretty cool.
But in 5th place was Shawnee Clark. 4th place, Hannah Smith. 3rd place, Rachel Jackson. 2nd place, Jolene Lewis. And 1st place, Tatiana Cousins.
So it was a little bit of a shock, this one, wasn't it? Because we saw Rachel Jackson win England's in quite handy fashion.
Yeah.
But she also won untested England's, didn't she?
Yeah.
So she was definitely the favourite. However, she did fuck it on the circus dumbbell into stone to shoulder. And she certainly wasn't alone with fucking it on the circus dumbbell to stone to shoulder.
Quite a few people across a lot of the categories.
Caught so many people out.
Yeah. I think from my... Obviously, I went out and did it as well. And even just from my first rep on the rubber stone to my second rep, I'd cleared all the dust off it on the first rep.
Yeah.
Like, you watched on the live stream, I'm like polishing the fuck out of this stone, polishing the floor, whatever, to make sure there was no dust on it. And it went straight up really easily. Dumbbell rep, fine. And then as soon as I'd put the rubber stone on the mat, any dust that was about to went poof.
Yeah.
Into the air, went onto the stone where I rolled it off, and it was just so slippy. It took a good couple of attempts to get dust off, get dust back off my hands, and then grip it again. So if you weren't getting all of that dust off and all of the debris that might be on there, it just makes them rubber stones ridiculously slippy.
Yeah, that's a good thing from an athlete point of view, because obviously I was on commentary, and from our perspective, it looked like people had just maybe been training on Atlas stones. And
I think there was partly that. Partly was people have been training on Atlas stones, and 99.9% of gyms that have Atlas stones don't clean them after every use. So there's reminiscent tacky on there. So a heavier stone will probably feel a little bit easier because even though you're not using tacky, there is still some sort of stick to it.
Yeah.
And you did stone to shoulder today, like you know what that's
Yeah,
like.
I did tackyless up to 140 when there was tacky on the stone.
Yeah.
There was a bit of tacky residual on my sleeves as well. So yeah,
But yeah, so if they've been training with stones like that, then chances are that they're not going to get it.
I think for the most part that's what people have been doing because frankly the stones are so fucking expensive. You can't just buy them.
They are.
Atlas stones are about 70 pence a kilo. So you can get a 100 kilo stone for 70 quid, whereas these stones, the 100 kilo stones, 450 quid, 500 quid,
Yeah.
something like that. So you get a full set of them. You're spending, I think it's like, is it $5.5 grand?
4.5 grand.
$4.5 grand.
For the, I think it's for 60 through to 120 is like 4.5 grand.
It's just fucking.
And then if you want
absurd,
the lighter
isn't
ones on top of that, it is like upwards of 5.
Yeah, it's mental. It's
And
mental.
factory weights pride themselves on cost effectiveness.
Yeah,
Apparently.
So
it looks like a lot of people were just struggling on them, but it was partly to do with that dust as well.
Yeah. So Tatiana Cousins won there. She was brilliant, to be honest. She was absolutely class all day. She did opt to pull out of the lightweight masters because she was also in that class. I think she did 1 or 2 events and then she chose to pull out. She came and told us on the commentary desk. And by the looks of it, she made the right choice because doing 12 events over the course of the day is going to really grind you down. And she's possibly going to be sacrificing her performance on both. So I think the smart play there was to pull out of the Masters lightweight, and she did that and paid off.
Yeah. We're going to go on the under 73 women?
We'll go on the under 73 women indeed. Really, really intense class.
A little bit of drama at the end, I heard.
There was. This was one of my favourite ones to watch. So in fifth place, we had Tegan Patterson. Fourth place, Mary Egan, who won Islands and actually won the overall
Irish
Islands
champion,
as well. Right. In third place, Emily Barter. Second place, Alicia Loomba. And first place, Taylor Southgate, who was, to be fair, that is the 1 and 2 that we predicted.
Yep.
Right.
I did say Emily would be up there as well.
Yeah, you did, to be fair. Right, so basically what's happened, guys, if you're unaware, is Emily did technically win the whole comp.
Yep.
So she was in the lead and then she won the last event. However, she was using her belt to balance the kegs, and it had been stated in the rules that that was not allowed. So they gave her a 0.
You had to have your belt turned round, didn't you? So the buckle was on the back.
Yeah, so they ended up giving her a 0. Now, she did appeal the decision afterwards, and just basically to say that it doesn't say on the rules that doing that, violating that rule, is an automatic 0.
Yeah.
Maybe there should have been a time penalty or whatnot.
Yeah, doesn't it says it's not allowed, but doesn't specify exactly what the punishment is.
Yeah, so I kind of get a perspective there, and to be honest, Emily Barter was fucking mint. I thought she was absolutely class. Personally,
the top 3, just looking across the scores, the top 3 across the day,
they dominated.
there were, especially the first 3-4 events, apart from Alicia on the rubber stone circus dumbbell, they were top 3.
Yeah.
They were just there all day, and they just had some little slips. Each of them had one event where they weren't the best. So Alicia's was the circus dumbbell rubber stone.
Yep.
Taylor's was the farmers with turn, and then obviously Emily's was the last one.
Which is a shame because she was the only one to finish it.
Yeah.
I will say, however, Emily, if you're watching, your circus dumbbell into stone to shoulder was fucking awesome. Like, obviously, you didn't watch
see
it,
no.
mate. I think
looking at it, was the heavy one.
Yeah, and
5 reps.
And in the 73s, I think she got more reps than everyone in the entire comp. I don't think anybody else got
Fair play.
5 reps. If they did, they only tied. I don't think anybody got 6. So
No.
So to do that as a 73, like a middleweight class, fucking class. She was really good. But props to Taylor Southgate, props to Alicia Lumber, very consistent throughout the competition, and they definitely deserve their places. I really hope Emily gets. Obviously, third place doesn't get you an invite to Europe. I really hope she does. To Worlds, sorry. I really hope she gets an invite.
Yeah,
because she should be there. She's really fucking good. It would be a shame if she didn't, or if she had to do like an online qualifier or so on and so forth. But unfortunately, it just be what it be. I think the appeals process is still ongoing.
Yep.
So actually, yesterday the Strength Shop points had flipped.
Yep.
But obviously they've flipped back now. Right, we'll do the. Should we do lightweight masters? Where are they?
Yes, they're straight below.
Oh, that's handy. I wish it would do it in order, man. It would just make life so much easier. Strength
it's-
results, do that.
Yeah, strength results.
Pretty intense class, this. So you had the former champ, Suzanne Reynolds, was in there. But how'd it go, mate?
So in 5th place, we had Denise Palmer, representing Scotland. 4th place, Daisy Edwards. 3rd place, Stacey Davies. 2nd place, Suzanne Reynolds. And in 1st place, Wendy Stewart.
Wendy won by 1 point.
I did say Wendy would win.
You did. That was a good call, and we did think Suzanne Reynolds was going to be up there as well. It did come down to the last event, so
consistency.
Suzanne was winning until the last event, and then Wendy really pulled it out of the bag. Took 2nd place in the last event, whereas Suzanne took 4th. So the points flipped.
Yeah, across the board though, Wendy was first,
impressive.
second, first, third, second.
Yeah. So you can't really say much about that.
Suzanne, third, first, 4th. both incredibly consistent.
Well,
across
they
the day.
were miles ahead of everybody else. I think there was 12 points between them and third place.
Yeah, definitely.
Which, to be fair, is a similar story in a lot of the other classes, actually. Especially in the men's. There was 2 or 3 in most classes that were absolutely dominating. So well done, Wendy. She was brilliant, really good.
Yeah.
Didn't put a foot wrong all day.
Yeah,
Right, we'll do 82s.
absolutely. Yeah,
Oh, just below. Fuck
just
yeah.
below 82s.
Right,
Again,
82 is a bit of a smaller
class.
class. Yeah, only 6. I mean, 82s generally is a smaller class. You would expect this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect 5 in the 64s. So, right, what we got? We got in 5th place, we've got Hannah Conroy Lax. In 4th place, you've got Rebecca Kennedy, Pandora Holiday in 3rd, Jess Tate in 2nd, and Rebecca Morgan back on top in 1st place.
Indeed, sure was.
And again, massive battle between Rebecca Morgan and Jess Tate. Again, Jess Tate was actually leading the competition up until the last event. And then Morgan just kind of snuck in there and
Yeah, well, the
had at it.
third just pulled it out of the bag, really. There was only half
Yeah.
a point between them on that last event.
Yeah, I think, Jess Tate came last on that event, which, is really what cost her.
Yeah. So there was half a point between them, but even then, if Rebecca had finished 4th, she was still still beating her. So it's hats off. It's that thing again, though. You got to take event by event. You can't look at it and go, oh well, it's surefire to win this because it's very, very easy. If you take that kind of attitude to make a mistake and drop the ball with loads of points. So hats off to staying consistent. And it wasn't the shortest of competitions. It wasn't.
No, so the women's overran by an hour. I think the men's overran by a little bit more than that.
About 2 hours.
The reason for that was because the rubber stone into circus dumbbell, the lanes weren't wide enough to run 3 lanes.
Yeah.
So they tried to stagger them where they had one here, one there, and one there.
Yeah.
Like a V shape.
Yeah.
But it just still wasn't safe.
Yeah.
So they opted just to do 2 lanes, and it just took a long time. And then the resetting of the farmers, it took a little while.
I think
as well.
a lot more people were dropping the farmers than maybe they were expecting.
I think so.
So they were having to reset it a little bit further
Yeah.
than what they thought.
Yeah.
And especially when they start getting heavy, if you looked on the Natural Strongman on the Natural Strongman Instagram, you'll have seen them flipping them on the side and rolling them back because it will have took them a little bit longer to realise that that's...
It's all right when the women's classes are on because you've got big, strong blokes like helping out in the crew who can just carry them back. There was a lot of farmers reset by Chris Crawford. And to be honest, you just can't repeatedly do that when you're resetting 120 a hand, 130 a hand. It's just
Yeah, no,
it's not
absolutely.
going to go well, is it?
It's going to absolutely kill you off doing that.
Right, Open Masters.
So, there's only 7 in this class, but in 5th place, Natalie Aline?
I think so, yeah.
Aline? Yeah.
Yeah.
In 4th place, Maria Krasinska.
He said it right again.
3rd place, Rebecca Jackson. 2nd place, Sarah Phillips. And taking the win, Michelle Leary.
Miles out in front, Michelle Leary.
Yeah.
Absolutely miles. Really good. Really good performance from her.
Won all events apart from the Farmers with a Turn.
Yeah, 5 event wins. Dominant, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's not really a lot else you can say about that. Pretty good class all round. There was a battle for 3rd place that Rebecca Jackson ended up taking. So that was pretty intense. But Michelle Leary was just too good.
Yeah.
Far too good. Right.
It looks obviously Michelle Leary was well out in front, then Sarah Phillips was kind of a league of her own kind of thing, just floating in that second place.
Yeah.
And then it
positions were
was
set.
quite a close battle between the 5th, 4th and 3rd, really.
Yeah.
For that bronze trophy.
Which keeps it interesting. Like, it's all well and good one person running away with it, but as long as there's a battle somewhere along the line, then that's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right, is it Women's Opens?
Women's Opens,
I do believe.
That's the last class,
The final class. All right. So in 5th place, Jade Skill.
She had the skills.
She did have the skills. In 4th place, Jen Baxter. Anna Stelfox in 3rd. Hope Christie in 2nd. And Rosalind Cole ran away with it in the end in 1st place. It was a little bit back and forth between Rosalind and Hope, or tight at least. But, Rosalind just too good, ended up winning by 10 points. This was a really good class to watch. You could tell it was going to be tight. Anna Stelfox did throw away the second place on the kegs again. She actually messaged me and just said she didn't even know what she was doing on the kegs. It was like she kind of blacked out and it just happened.
I think I'd seen a video and she just drops the keg in the middle and doesn't really know where she's going with it.
Yeah.
She instead of attempting to pick it up again, she kind of just like looks about as if to say, what's going on?
She says she prioritised the other events and didn't really get much keg training, which, goes to show you've got to be good at every event. A deadlift and a keg are worth the same amount of points. So it doesn't matter if you're a monster deadlifter or a monster presser.
Yeah.
If you shit at the little what's seen as the little events, like keg loading, bag toss,
The ones that people think, I can just wing it on the day.
Exactly, yeah.
But you can tell the difference between the people who just go, I'll wing it on the day, and the people who have put the time in and effort to kind of train it.
Yeah. So I don't think she'll make that mistake again, but she's getting back to her best. She's getting there. One competition at a time, and it's very exciting to see. Rosalind, obviously, our 2024 world champion. It was to be expected that she would win. Would have been interesting to see if Gaffers was in the lineup as well.
Yeah, I think Andrea had a bit of FOMO from
Yeah.
the few times I spoke to her.
I'm not surprised.
Watching the competition and especially watching that top three battle it out.
She crewed, though. She came down to crew. Fair play to her. She did a lot.
I know her partner was the DJ for the day.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's why she come down. So her partner
sick.
was the DJ
That's
for the
well
day.
good.
So I did ask him to put in, or asked him via Andrea to see if he could put in some like year 6 school disco songs in there, just a bit of fun. But that was more for the after party than as part of like the day. But didn't happen because the after party didn't happen really.
Well, no, because it just
overrun by
overran
quite a bit.
Yeah, we didn't finish till about 25 to 10.
Yeah.
We only had the venue till 10, so understandable.
Yeah, they were desperate to get us out so there are people in to watch the boxing, I think.
Yeah. But again, really, really good class to watch. The whole fucking comp, mate. Like, from the commentary point of view, the athletes made it really easy because everything was pretty fucking interesting.
Thing is, when you're at UK and Ireland, it's a qualification only thing. So, from a spectator point of view, from a commentary point of view, things are going to look better because you're going to have people who were the top of their classes in their nationals. So it's people who have clearly got at least some sort of talent, at least some sort of quality to be there. Not that I'm saying everybody who didn't qualify at England's or didn't qualify at Ireland's or whatever is shit. I'm not saying that.
No, of course. But you're going to
see more of you're going to see more of the people who are tuned in and more of hitting the standard on more events than not.
Absolutely.
Because at England's, you saw some people come out in the first event. There was names up there, and you were like, "Fuck no, I've never heard of him." But they were just a freak on the deadlift.
Yeah.
And then they come out, they've done 2 reps at 300, for example, and then was doing the 85 kilo axle. And it's that kind of balance where they're really good. They've got one really good event, but that can't be the case in strongman. You've got to be good across the board. Yeah.
Right then,
On to the Mandem. We'll start with the 72s.
No, we might do if my fucking thing starts playing ball. There we go. Right, hold on, I'm on the juniors. Bloody hell. There we go, 72s. All right, go on then, mate, take it away.
So, in 5th place was Peter Fazekas.
Yep.
4th place, Brian Murray. 3rd place, Mark Condren. 2nd place, Cameron Nisbet. And 1st place, Jordan Humphreys.
Yeah, Jordan Humphreys was really good all day. He's very tall for a 72. He looks like he's fucking 6 foot tall. He's probably not. Yeah. That's what he looked like.
Compared to the other 72s, he was a very tall athlete. I really enjoyed watching this class.
It was great. Yeah, really good.
I don't know about you, but Brian Murray's log performance was unbelievable.
It was really good. Just cycling the log straight from the chest, reactive reps, brilliant.
It was absolute masterclass. I know Jordan hit the same amount of reps, but it was like clockwork watching it. I was mesmerised, and I think he was first out as well, so he had a full send.
Oh yeah.
Like unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a really good class to watch. I think it's interesting to see because the lighter weight classes, they're not as statically strong as the rest of them. No. So that's where you see like more interesting tactics come into place. You'll see more efficient split jerks because they need to be efficient to get the weight overhead.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see different tactics for picking up kegs and moving, and it's pretty fucking cool. What I will say was the carry and drag. That sandbag was heavy as fuck. They gave him a 120 kilo sandbag, which for some of them was about hip height.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Massive.
I saw a few of them. I know a few of them did the kind of bear hug technique and battle it up to lap, compared to because they don't have the wingspan to get around the thing.
Yeah.
So that was a very very heavy bag for them.
It was very much a story in the lighter weight classes where the push and the drag was fine.
Yeah,
but the sandbag was determining who was going to get good points. Whereas in the heavier weight classes, for the most part, not the push, but the drag was the thing slowing people down.
Yeah.
And the sandbag was, a bit more easy.
Yeah.
Right, so...
But if you think about it, a 140 kilo sandbag for a 105, an open athlete, is a lot lighter compared to body weight than a 120 bag for 72 kilo.
And it was the same bag that they added.
Yeah, they just
added weights to. So it's not like the bag was actually getting bigger in size. It was just getting slightly more compact, which can sometimes make pickups easier. Sometimes it can make them harder. But yeah, Jordan Humphreys, brilliant. Well done, that man. Absolutely class. Right.
Did run away a little bit.
He did, yeah.
5.5 points ahead of
a decent chunk, in the end.
And then, Brian and Peter were joint, really, in 36.5 points.
Yeah. Right, we have got the men's under 80s, so we fucked up with our predictions, didn't we? Because we didn't even put Ewan Colligan on the map for some reason. We just kind of glossed over him entirely, which can happen sometimes when you've got like a decent-sized athlete.
I do have to say, a lot of the guys in this class brought the energy in the weighting area.
Yeah.
Very much enjoyed Matt Dudley and Ali Griggs's partying in the warm-up area. It wasn't just for that one event that they were having a good time all day.
That's good to see, isn't it? Because normally you see everyone being very fucking serious.
Yeah, I've put out a video of me doing the Macarena when everyone else is like, you can see the locked in and I'm just stood there.
Everyone's thinking, who's this fucking bastard?
Yeah, absolutely thinking
this annoying,
absolutely thinking that.
Annoying cunt.
Yeah.
Right, so your top five. In fifth place, you got James Watts. Fourth place, the English champ, Dan Ball. James Joyce is in third. John Ginty, Ireland's most Irish man, in second place. And then Ewan Colligan miles in front by 9 points, taking the win.
John had a respectively easy day compared to what he had in England.
Yeah, I suppose he did, yeah.
He was resetting everything in England, just picking up the 130 kilo hand farmers, running them back. And
I don't know why the crew don't bring like knee sleeves and belts and stuff. If I was crewing, which I don't want to, I would have to wear knee sleeves. Yeah. I was thinking about wearing knee sleeves for the commentary, mate. Fucking stood up there. Christ. My fucking knee was so fat by the end of the day.
It's almost like you fell off a chair.
I didn't fall off a chair.
You fell through a chair.
I fell through the universe and annihilated the chair.
I was so happy when Jamie Clyburn tagged us in it and sent us in. I was like...
They told us there was going to be no cameras on us because normally we would have if we're both sat here, they would have a camera there, facing, kind of like a webcam. But we were told there was no camera on us. So, I thought, this is going to be weird because all of a sudden we just stopped talking. Yeah. And then there was like some rustling in the background. But yeah, sure enough, it's on fucking video, which I'm glad it was because it was really funny.
They also kept putting it on the highlight big screen, didn't they?
Yeah,
which is also quite.
So,
funny.
For those of you who've seen this, I'll put it up in the edit. The back weight staying the same. But right, the reason that my eyes look like that is because there was a massive drop behind us. So I thought that I was going to continue falling.
Just going. It's like it's falling out the loft.
When I hit the floor, I was waiting to drop off the back, but that drop never came because Aisha fucking grabbed my arm.
And
then it took me about 30 seconds to be able to stand up because it was so tight behind the table. There's nowhere to put my feet.
Yeah.
And then anyway, we opted to stand from that point onwards, just in case we died. However, there was numerous occasions where we nearly fell off the back of the stage. Keldo nearly fell off the back of the stage as well. He was only there for one event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, so congratulations to you and Colligan. Absolutely stellar performance by him. John Ginty was brilliant as well. John Ginty got let down by the farmers because he turned too aggressively. And then the spin caught him, which happened a lot to a lot of people in a lot of classes.
Absolutely.
If you don't control that rotation...
Especially when it's them, like, slight... They weren't fat grip handles, but they were quite slick.
Yeah, okay.
So as soon as you kind of, like, any kind of wrist rotation, any kind of movement, your grip's starting to loosen.
Yeah.
And as soon as you don't have that solid grip of them, they were just going.
Yeah.
Like, it was... With thinner handles, like the Celtic Strength ones we have in New Level... You can kind of get away with having them in your fingertips for at least a little bit. Where these ones, you've either got to have incredible finger strength to be able to hold them in your fingertips, otherwise it's consort, which is what happened to a lot of people.
Yeah. Really caught a lot of people out that one. Right, okay. 80s done. Should we do juniors or 90s?
We'll do the 90s.
Oh, you bastard, I went the wrong way.
Oh, sorry.
Go on then. If you found it, you can start reading the
So, quite a well-packed class with 14 people in. So, in 5th place, we had Stephen Barry. 4th place, we had Andrew Bottomley. 3rd place, the best ass in strongman, Pavlos Kouros. In 3rd place, Jake Sunborg Cook.
2nd place.
2nd place, apologies. 2nd place, Jake Sunborg Cook. And in 1st place, James Peters.
And James Peters won by a mile. I think this was the biggest win across all classes, if I'm right, 14.5 points.
Yeah.
He was very, very good. Obviously, we predicted Pavlos for the win here, based on historical performances. Pavlos came second last year to Mr. Tom Butts. Tom Butts wasn't here, so you've got to assume
he just wasn't competing.
Yeah. So you've got to assume that Pavlos is going to be the favourite. But my God, James Peters. I knew nothing about James Peters before this. He was not on my radar, but Christ, yeah, class.
Absolutely killed it, yeah.
Yeah, really
Did
good.
really well. I will like to give a shout out, Jake Sunborg Cook. Speaking to him in the warm-up area for the keg.
Yep.
He opted for my technique on the keg, which, incidentally, got him enough points to bump above Pavlos.
Yeah. He came 6th, though. Maybe he'd have come 5th if he didn't.
Maybe. He'd never touched keg. And
Did he not?
He was in the warm-up area and he was really struggling with the pick technique. Now,
Right.
I showed him the bear hug and he was like, mate, I was never going to finish that run. So he actually stopped us backstage and like, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
You've helped me.
Good job.
Second, like,
Maybe he'll sign up for coaching with you.
Maybe.
That would be nice.
Maybe,
If you're
yeah.
watching this, Jake Sunborg Cook, sign up with me for coaching. But yeah, brilliant. James Peters, absolutely class. He won two events, 3 events, and he was just up there the entire day. Absolutely mint. Right, the juniors. So the juniors we touted to be one of the ones to watch, and it definitely was.
yeah, there was a lot of jostling for that top spot across the day.
There was. So in 5th place, we had Josh Marshall. In 4th place, the man with the biggest log in the juniors, Luke Cuthbertson. In 3rd place, Joe Edwards, very new to the game. 2nd place, Matty Trackey, the current reigning world champion.
Yep.
And in 1st place, again by an absolute fucking mile, was Matt Stevens. Now, Matt Stevens won 5 of the events and came 2nd on the log because you can't beat Luke Cuthbertson.
Yeah, Luke
on log.
Cuthbertson, 8 reps at 115 is...
It's fucking nuts.
It's phenomenal.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
I thought it was going to be good, and then he just stood there.
He didn't stop.
Nah, he just wouldn't stop. It was very fucking impressive. Yeah, it was good, man. It was really good. At the start, it was definitely like there was 4 lads that definitely could have taken it between Luke, Joe, Matty, and Matt. But Matt Stevens
Just kind of ploughed off, didn't he?
Yeah, what a fantastic
You could see he
performance.
locked it in training and just... These events were suited to him as well. Very well.
I mean, you could say that, but he's a big dude, and to win things like the keg and the
Farmers.
push carry drag and the farmers being one of the bigger lads, he's got something about him.
Yeah.
He does, and I think between him and Matty Trackey at Worlds,
it's going to be a good battle.
over 7 or 8 events if they choose to do 8, it's going to be
Going to be 7.
It's 7. It's going to be a very good battle. I'm very excited to see that.
By the looks of it, obviously subject to change, it's going to be the same as it was last year, where the juniors do 5 events on the juniors and masters do 5 events on the Friday, and then 2 events on the Saturday morning.
Okay.
And then every class will do 4 events in their 3-hour block.
Right, okay.
So it'll be like the lighter weights 12 till 3, the middle weights 3 till 6, and then the heavyweights and 105s.
And then they'll mix the classes on the Sunday.
And then the Sunday, the last 3 events, and all the classes mixed.
Right, okay, that's cool. But yeah, that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
What more can be said? Matt Stevens, fair play to him.
Joe Edwards coming in third as well. You can see that he's got a lot of strength.
Oh,
He's just
very
very,
strong.
very new to the sport.
Yeah,
Like, you could see technically, it's what let him down.
Yeah, there's
He
things.
had-
There's things that he definitely needs work on. But statically, pretty useful, isn't he? Pretty handy.
Yeah. He was talking in the warm-up area about possibly learning how to do some jerks.
All right,
Because
okay.
he was just like, all I've ever done is like, before I even touched the log, I was just strict pressing shit. And like, when I
Well-
first started doing log, I was just strict pressing.
Well,
So,
his log push press is just he moves his legs and then strict presses it. Yeah.
It's very much like that in the warm-up area as well.
Aye. So, I mean, jerks are useful because it helps you develop your leg drive because you have to then extend at the ankle,
Yeah.
and it has to be explosive. If you don't do that, nothing will happen. If he does the leg drive the way he does it now and tries to do a jerk, the log will be there and he'll just be like kind of moving his feet around.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be a good idea. At least trying to learn it on a barbell, and
Yeah.
getting that kind of explosive movement pattern down is probably quite a good idea.
Absolutely.
And it's good to see lads in the, I'd say open weight class. I know he's a junior, but weight class wise, he would be an open weight class. You know, the bigger lads.
Yeah.
It's good to see lads looking to do that. I will say, shout out Ronan Connolly. He pulled out after I think it was 3 events. He tweaked his hamstring, unfortunately, and had to pull out there. So,
Would you like to do the lightweight masters? They are at the
yes.
very bottom, I believe.
Right, let me scroll. Right, lightweight masters. Yeah, go for it.
So 5 in this class. Reasonably spaced between them, to be totally honest. So in 5th place, John McCabe. In 4th place, Connor O'Neill. 3rd place, Lee Brain. 2nd place, Russell O'Neill. And 1st place, Sam Richards.
So I spoke to Connor O'Neill,
Yeah.
and he confirmed that himself and Russell O'Neill are not related.
It's just pure coincidence.
Yeah, which made me really sad, and I said that he should have just ran with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, story of this class was Sam Richards dominated for the entire day, and then he had a bit of a stinker on the keg. By the time it came to the kegs, it looked like he wasn't well. It looked like there was something going on. But the Sam Richards on the keg and the Sam Richards on the 5 events beforehand were 2 completely different people.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if
Thing
the
is that
fatigue just caught up with him.
Yeah, it could be that he's majority of strongman comps are just 5 events. Like
Yep.
your standard ones you go to are 5 events. So if he's used to training for 5 events and prepping for 5 events and getting the food and drinking whatever on the day for 5 events, and that last event, because it was a long day as well,
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
it's just got the better of him. There was a few. It wasn't just him. There was a few guys across the day who I feel towards the last few events were starting to really fatigue, especially with it being an afternoon start as well. They might have woke up early with nerves or excitement for the day, not slept the best. So as you're getting on to like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night for your events, you're really not going to be as switched on as you would be.
Very true.
If it was 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, like it was the Nationals.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I hate competing in the afternoon and the evening. It is.
Yes.
It's not fun, especially when you train at such an early time in the day.
Yeah.
Right, what are we on?
It's why I tend to, compared to what I used to, I now train more in an evening
Right, okay.
because I know that the 105s are always treat the worst and made to compete at 6
That's not
p.m.
why you do it, is it? Let's be honest. You're trying
it's
to
'cause I
act
can't be
galaxy brain on this
I
one.
also
but
can't be
you're not.
asked to get up early in the morning.
That one. Right, we're on the 105s.
Oh, we are. We are indeed. Would you like to go down this class?
Of course I would. Of course I would. Right, okay. So in 5th place, you've got Dylan Brown. 4th place, the English champ, Rob McGee. 3rd place, Jonathan Little Johnson. 2nd place, Christopher Harrison. And miles out in front by 11 points and his most dominating win ever in your career. I think.
No, I think England's last year.
Right, well, UK's is harder than England's.
Oh,
so.
UK is much harder than England's, but yeah. Yeah.
By 11 points, Thomas Fisher won. Mate, you were fucking brilliant. You really were. Absolutely class. There's not really anything more that can be said. You were consistent throughout the day. You know, you weren't winning all the events. You won 2. But, like, your lowest placing was 5th. A couple of second places in there and a 3rd. Just a really consistent across the board. You were good at everything. You couldn't be touched.
Yeah. To be honest, it was up until the last events, it was quite close between myself, Johnny, and Rob.
Yeah.
But I think the farmers really, both Rob and Johnny dropped it pretty much on the halfway point. So, like, going into the farmers, Johnny was, like, a few points behind. Rob was half a point behind us. Johnny was a little bit further. But Johnny was on the same points before the stone shoulder. So, like, a couple of events where they slipped a little bit allowed us just to get that.
Well, this is exactly what we were talking
there.
about. Like, you can't have a bad event, because if you have one bad event in a really stacked field, then all of a sudden you've gone from being in contention for first place to now you're fighting to get on the podium, or you're fighting for a qualification at all. Your results say it. And the way that you kind of got further and further ahead, like at the start you weren't in first.
No.
But then you were joint first, and then you were first by a point, and then you were first by a few more points or whatever, and so on and so forth. You just you consistently got better throughout the day, and it was just really good to watch, mate. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I thought you were absolutely brilliant.
To be honest, I didn't think I would do as well as I did on the keg loading. I wasn't aiming for second.
Yeah.
My whole thing going out of that, I knew I was 5 points ahead of Chris Harrison going on that last event, a little bit further ahead of Rob, but it was essentially in my head, if I can beat these two, then I win. I don't have to care how the rest of them do.
That's right.
Because at that point I was still Johnny was in 4th at that point, and I was like 12.5 points of Johnny.
Yeah.
So as long as I beat those two, there was no way Johnny could get any more. 12 points was the maximum you could get. So if Johnny had won and I got 10, I was 10th. I'd still have won.
Yeah.
So my thinking was just these guys beat these two. And I did slip. I did fall over and headbutt the keg. I don't know how I did that, other than running too fast.
It was just the concrete floor, wasn't it?
Yeah, slippy, dusty.
You get a little bit like powder chalk on the concrete floor, and it does become a little slippy.
So fell over, headbutt the keg. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So I was actually a little bit quicker with the heaviest keg than I was the middle keg. Yeah. Because I was a little bit like, I don't know where I am.
Yeah, and it was funny to watch, because obviously, for those of you that don't know, Fisher has the Natural Strongman Atlas Stone record. You're good at hip extension.
Yeah.
And it was really funny, because everybody else was like, extend to the height and then put it on. Well, you threw them all on. Yeah. You just yeeted them on.
It's what I didn't train on, though.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I found it harder in training when you set me 3 extensions to platform than just picking the thing up and getting a foot away from it and just
hoisting it on,
popping. I was purposely holding onto it a little bit so it didn't fly off the back, because there was a point at new level where I threw it into the wall.
Yeah.
And maybe broke the wall a little bit.
I think it wouldn't really fly off the back, because it was because it's a loadable keg. All the weight's in the bottom.
Yeah,
it's very unlikely that it would tip. Yeah. when you throw it on.
So I think that because it was loadable kegs as well, that caught a few people out.
Yeah,
because it makes more sense for that event to have loadable kegs.
It does,
because having a keg of all of the weights, like the heaviest weight keg was what, 135.
Yeah, something like that.
130, and the
130,
lightest,
I think.
The lightest of the heavyweight, or the lightest of the top weight keg even for the women was like significantly below that.
Yeah, so you'd have to have a lot of kegs.
So many kegs, you'd need like a lorry just to transport these kegs in.
Yeah.
So having 9 loadable kegs just makes sense.
It does. It makes a lot more sense.
But if you've trained with one that's full to the brim with sand or full to the brim with concrete or whatever, that way it's evenly distributed. So when you're picking it up on an angle,
it's all on one side.
It's even with a loadable keg, it's all on one side, it's all on the bottom side, and trying to put that on the platform and then stand it up can be quite difficult.
Yeah, which is why I think the bear hug strategy worked so well, especially as the weights started to go up as you go through the classes, because then it becomes more loaded towards one side.
I think some of the 72s did try it and they didn't have the wingspan to do it.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, one thing I noticed that aided me to be a little bit quicker than others, because both me and Chris did the same technique, but Chris was 7 seconds slower than me. Mm-hmm. So everybody was bear hugging it, sitting it in on lap and getting it nice and high. But I was just bear hugging it with my hands quite low on the keg.
Yeah.
So once I didn't even have to sit in and give it an adjustment. It was literally just probably
it was there
a couple
and
of inches below the platform.
That's because you are so powerful through your hips with stones and sandbags and things like that you knew it doesn't matter where the keg is, that you're going to be able to throw it from whatever fucking height it's sitting at.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just good use of your own strengths, and you've used them well.
Yeah.
Right, next class is going to be the Open Masters, because we actually missed those ones out. Do you have those?
I do have those.
Great.
Yes. So in 5th place we had Gareth Penn. In 3rd place we had Lee Palmer. 2nd place we had Ken Kelleher. In 2nd place we had Andrew Russell. And in 1st place, Greg Stewart.
Greg Stewart was
guy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant all day.
5 firsts and a second.
Yeah, he did
dropped.
everything right.
He dropped what? He got a joint first on the first event, so that's half a point. And he got joint second, so he dropped a point all day, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what a guy.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Lee Palmer.
A point and a half.
Lee Palmer, I really enjoyed watching him. I thought he was really good. He's unassumingly athletic. He doesn't look like he's going to be athletic. So sorry, Lee. But he was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely class. Really enjoyed watching him. Compete.
I enjoyed this class as well, especially because they were always the class that were out before me.
Yeah.
So you'd get to see these guys, and watching them do the events would really getting us fired up for them and getting us ready to go.
Yeah.
Nice bunch of guys as well.
Oh yeah, cool bunch of dudes. John Jordan actually tore his bicep at Britain's Strongest Master in November.
Yeah.
In the untested, and he re-tore it on like event 3. Was it? Oh no, it was the sandbag. That was event 2. And then he
kept going.
He continued for the entire comp. I'm like, you're not
Fair
pulling
play.
out, mate. He's
Fair
like, well,
play.
it's done now. I'm like, fair enough.
Fair play.
So shout out John Jordan. Yeah. Right.
Last class,
the men's opens, the big boys. Okay, so in 5th place, Matt Gordon. 4th place, Ben Rant, the English champion. 3rd place, Andy Harkin. 2nd place, Izzy Ajay. And by a point, 1st place and UK's strongest natural man, Josh Berriman.
John Barrowman. Yep.
John Barrowman.
What a guy.
Yeah, he did really well. He had his head screwed on a little bit more than he did at England's. Didn't make as many mistakes.
His head was up his arse after the first event.
It was, yeah. He only hit 1 rep on the log. I think he hit 3 in training, 3 or 4. So yeah, he thought he'd fucked it, but it's one event, and he still came like 5th or something, didn't he? 7th. So it wasn't that bad. Like in a class that's got 11 people.
I know I didn't see his performance, but he was coming to me after the events and chatting away. And he was fuming with himself.
Yeah.
He was very, very upset. But from just that log, factory weights log, I don't know what it is. It just feels so much heavier than what
Right.
it wasn't just me seeing it. Both me and Chris Harrison went to Matty after our log and went, "The fuck have you put? Is that definitely 50 kilo log?"
right,
Because
okay.
like the clean felt harder than the 146 kilo clean I did 2 weeks before.
Right.
So it felt heavy.
Interesting.
But I don't know whether it's reasonably short log compared to what I'd been training on.
So you got the weight more in the centre.
And it's got that like powder coat to it, so it doesn't slip as you clean it. It kind of like sticks a little bit, which is nice. So you don't just slip the initial clean. But when it's in rack, it's very hard to adjust. If you don't get it fully clean, it's very hard to adjust to where you want it to be. So it was just quite hard to find that sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, after he, as he says, fucked it on the log. After he fucked it on the log, he went out on the push carry drag And he went out as if he had nothing to lose because he sent the fucking thing in 21.01 seconds, which is
time of the weekend.
Yeah, and he beat second place by like 3.86 seconds, which is, that's a big gap.
Yeah.
And I will say that Andy Harkin, who came second on that event, absolutely rapid on everything. He was fast as fuck.
Yeah.
He was rapid on that. He was rapid on the kegs. I think he won the kegs. Andy Harkin was fucking brilliant. He was one of my favourite people to watch throughout the day. Definitely one of the standouts. Again, I said it on the live stream, unassuming. He doesn't look like he's going to be fast.
Yeah.
But he's just absolutely... It was brilliant to see. Absolutely brilliant. I was looking forward to Alexander Hill King as well. I think he possibly didn't have the day he wanted. He dropped the Farmers after 15 metres, so he ended up placing 6th. But it was a brilliant class. There's a lot of really talented lads in there.
And this is coming from a guy who quite previously has said that the Opens is your least favourite class to watch.
Yeah, historically it's been the most boring class. I've never liked watching the men's Opens. Even last year at England's, I had no interest in it whatsoever. Yeah. Obviously it helps that I've got an athlete in there who happens to be winning everything.
Yeah.
But... I just think it's not just that
though. Like this year, there's a lot of the guys in it seem not just more competitive, but more athletic.
Oh yeah.
Like last year, I don't want to sound harsh to a lot of the Opens, but some of them were just fat lumps.
This is true. Yeah.
They'd just done car park comps, and were just relying on pure brute force to do the events where you can see these guys are coming in. And they've got something about them. Yeah,
they're seeing the value of the technical work behind the scenes and being good at strongman instead of just being strong.
Yeah.
Which is, as I've said, preached it a billion times, is often more important. And the fact that there's a lot of up and down in the class. So, for example, Ben Rant won England's, but he ended up coming 4th. And Izzy Ajayi, I don't know where Izzy placed. I think he placed 4th at England's. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And then he ended up placing like 2nd here, and by only a point, he was very close to taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, great class to watch.
It's that thing as well, like England's was very much strongman 101, where this, I feel like they've went out and they've kind of tried to experiment a bit.
Yeah, it's a lot more technical.
There is events in there that are kind of your standard. Like, yeah, log was clean and press away, but you could just clean and press every rep.
Yep.
The Apollyon's deadlift, yeah, it's a bit of a bitch, but a lot of other comps have it in. But circus dumbbell rub atlas stone, it's a bit different. Farmer's walk with a turn, you don't really get that. Keg loading, less common, but you still get it quite regularly. It's more of a common event. So they've kind of looked at it and went, right, 3 common events, 3 a bit different. And I think across a lot of the classes, apart from maybe the lighter weight classes, like we said about like the 72s, the push, carry, drag, there were some absolutely blistering times. And between first and last, there was like 15 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much everybody was finishing in a decent time.
Typically, the ones who were getting slower times on the push, carry, drag were ones who possibly wore the wrong shoes or hadn't got something on the bottom or had fucked up the sandbag pick or something like that. There were like little things that were the differences between people. Like, in my run, I was last to the sandbag, but I was first to load it onto the sled.
Yeah.
And it's those little things of not fucking about with your hands under the bag and just, you know you can pick it up. So why do you have to like...
Yeah, it's trusting the grip and trusting that your bicep's not going to snap off, isn't it?
Like, all I did was put my hand where I knew it wanted to go on one side, flipped the fucker onto it, slid my other hand under and just went, fuck.
Yeah.
And then ran like fuck.
And it pays off, doesn't it? It really pays off. Because Josh did the same thing with the 140 bag. Like, he picked up that 140 bag like I've never seen anybody pick up a 140 bag. That was
it
crazy.
Was fucking insane.
Yeah. Right, so that concludes all of the classes.
Does.
Any notable things worth mentioning? And maybe notable performances?
Myself.
Yourself. I thought Amy Coyle was brilliant in the under 57s. I thought she was really good. She was the lightest athlete of the entire entire
Fair
day.
play. Yeah, fair play.
I thought she was exceptional. I think when she did the deadlift, she pulled one rep and she started celebrating. I was like, maybe she expected not to get a rep. And then I think she did like 4 or 5.
Right.
So that must have been a ridiculous PB for her because
Yeah.
she was fucking buzzing with 1 rep.
Thing is, it's one of those, like, on the day, if you're not expecting to get a rep or those little wins really spur you on
Oh, yeah.
to get those next little things. Like, I know you said you were going to slap us if I brought it up, but
Oh, here we go.
my hamstring felt like shit. And it felt
Yes.
like shit in the warm-ups. But on the actual deadlift, I didn't feel it. When I was doing
God
it
for that.
on the event, I didn't feel it at all. And it was generally just the fatigue of pulling it.
Yeah, it's when that adrenaline kicks
stopped
in,
us
isn't it?
from stopped us from getting any more reps. That 8th rep on the video, it looks like it moved much easier than it felt.
To be honest, when I saw you pull that 8 rep, I thought, that's it. Done.
Yeah,
But you'd done a very good fucking job by that point.
Yeah.
It was damage limitation on that deadlift for you, and to come 5th in it, spawn.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly what you
But
needed.
across the day, I know it was a long day, but the crew were brilliant.
They were.
Really, really, really supportive of everyone.
Chris
Really
Crawford can't lift more than 110 kilos on farmers.
Can you not?
Nope.
Oh, poo, Chris.
Yeah. Boo.
Boo. Chris won't any grip. It might be the grip on those handles. are
Could
horrible.
be. Could be.
You saw it was probably about 50% of the classes across the classes weren't finishing the farmers.
Yeah.
And you'd either get a lot of people dropping it on the turn, halfway around the turn, which was the hardest bit to reset because you were having to then spin them round and then flip them on the side and roll them, or spin them round and then carry them back.
Yeah.
Or people would get on the turn and they would be unstable on the turn, and that's what's led them to drop it that next little bit. There was very few people who dropped it on the first stint,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and it was just that little bit different. And I don't think a lot of people realised that it would be quite as narrow lanes. And then when the turnaround said, you step into another lane, you're disqualified, that's got into some people's heads as well.
Yeah, I think so. There was a lot of people that came out of the turn and were very much heading towards another lane, whereas in the gym, you would just take your time to slowly correct. They're then having to actually force it a little bit more, and that's what's cost them their grip. I think, I don't know if you saw, but Damien McLaughlin, I think he hurt his knee on like the second event or something.
And he just kept going, yeah.
Mate, he hobbled out for every event
I
and then
know, I
moved
saw.
faster with whatever he was carrying than he did with nothing.
He was just buzzing to be there, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
Just
good.
loving life.
I thought Mark Condren was great. He's a fucking character. He's so intense. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
As I've already said, Emily Barter on the Stone to Shoulder and Circus Dumbbell was class to watch.
Yeah.
Alicia Lumba's log, really good.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but-
really, really good. Really nice split jerks. She's definitely been grafting on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a good eye for it because I was obviously on commentary all day. It was.
You got to see
I got to see everything.
quite a lot of
Literally
the
everything.
There was only 1 or 2 events you maybe weren't on commentary for.
I only missed the deadlift. That was it. They got Tom Butts on for that one.
Yeah.
I was
'cause
happy.
I've watched the deadlift back, and Tom Butts was talking about Johnny getting the 300 at England's and me not getting the 300 at England's.
Oh, that's nice.
And he's like, but look, this height clearly standard or brings a more of a standardised weight
Level
for people
playing field.
because Johnny only got 9 and I got 8. So
Right.
like the weight difference and height difference clearly makes it.
I don't know. I think that's still about reasonable. Like, yeah, he got the 300, but you did also hit that 300 in training.
Yeah.
Afterwards. But you like when you went into pull, was it 290 for 2?
Yeah, I pulled 290 for 2,
And you ripped
I
them
could
off the
have
floor.
could have easily done a
You
third.
definitely could have done 300 that day.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you wanted
absolutely,
to.
yeah.
So it just goes to show, like, another day, you know. Yeah.
I know.
What else to say? Shout out Bradley Wall, The
Yep.
Wall.
Brad the
in his
Wall.
first UKs. He did really well.
Loving life all day. I know he come second last.
He
but,
did. He came 11th,
He was buzzing with his performance all day. He was just happy to be there.
He was having a great time. He was showboating to the crowd. He was having a good time. It's great to see that.
Tom Daly, not the diver, was there as well.
Not the diver, no.
That I think every single time he come out, whoever was MCing mentioned something about diving or swimming or
As
water.
they should do. I will say, not Liam McKnight, Ollie
Liam.
Scoville.
Yep.
Ollie Scoville surprised me.
Yep.
I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
Not that I thought he was crap beforehand, but I just wasn't expecting it. He was brilliant. He was really good. He narrowly missed out on qualification. He came 6th.
Yeah.
But he was only a point off 5th. So
yeah. I was speaking with Johnny Little Johnson, who both coached by the same guy.
Yep.
And train together. When I say train together, I mean they go to the same gym.
Yeah.
When Ollie turns up.
Right.
Apparently, Ollie is very known for not training.
Oh, really?
So a lot of this prep has just been on Mong strength.
Ollie, if you start training, you'll probably do exceptionally well, I would say.
Yeah, so Johnny kept saying like he just doesn't train, he just fucking turns up and wings it on the day.
Right.
Like he'd not touch kegs other than like once at our gym when he come down the week before. So yeah.
Crazy.
Also,
go for it.
Liam McKnight, very disappointed with his performance.
He was, I spoke to him afterwards,
He said he fucked up his refeed.
Yeah.
So he didn't have much of a. He didn't need a refeed.
Well,
he
said he didn't need one because he didn't weight cut. Now I had a bit of catch up with him, and I'm like, you're gonna have to, because if you're giving up 6 kilos to some of these lads,
I think apparently he was really
difference.
trying to eat a lot the day before, and just fucked it completely because he just felt he couldn't eat on the morning of the comp, and he just felt heavy, he felt sluggish.
Right, guys, this is for if anybody you make weight and you don't need to like cut any weight, so you don't need a refeed. Don't eat loads of food the day before. You can carb up a bit more than normal, but generally best protocol is just to eat what you normally eat on a normal day. If you're training the next day, eat what you would normally eat that day. Because frankly, that's a good example. You know, you can overdo it.
Yep.
Obviously, if you're weight cutting, you want to get all those carbs and salts back in. If you're not weight cutting, you've got no reason to do that.
Yeah. I had a very nice time sat in my 4th Airbnb eating my honey rice and salt.
Yeah, you had a right fuck on.
Watching Top Gear highlights.
You had a right fuck on with these Airbnbs, didn't you?
Yeah, the last one was nice.
That's good, man. I'm glad.
And, I've left them a good review, and they've left me a good review and said they'll happily have us back. Not that I want to go back to Wolverhampton.
Well, oh God, no, it was a fucking shithole.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah. I stayed with the crew. It was all right. It was canny. Our fire alarm kept going off on the night, but fortunately, 2 of them were happy to. Well, probably not happy to, but keep going up and pressing the fucking button on it to stop it, because I wasn't getting out of bed.
Yeah.
I'm far too lazy for that.
Yeah, no. Where we were was above a nightclub. We were three floors above a nightclub.
Right.
So
on the nice one?
In the nice one, yeah.
Okay.
So all you could hear was, like, when we went to sleep the night before the comp, it was just really quiet. Just
It's not ideal, is it?
But thankfully, Gina's got a white noise machine that she turns on.
Oh, okay.
So all we could actually hear was...
That sounds equally as unpleasant.
I'm used to it now. I've got to a point where it just doesn't bother us.
Fair enough.
I usually sleep better when I've got that noise on now than when I don't. Yeah.
I fall asleep watching people play Yu-Gi-Oh, the card game.
It's probably similar. That's just background
Yeah,
noise.
that's it, isn't it?
And then the second night, we didn't go to bed until after the nightclub had closed. So
Okay.
because we were out well into the night.
Partying.
I'd say I had a very nice night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, God, why? Is that off-pod topic?
It's not off-pod talk.
Oh,
It's
okay,
not off-pod topic.
right.
But we did it was a very nice night. We ended up out with Lee and Brian, Cameron Nisbet, until he had to go home because he had like an 8:30 flight the next day. He had to fly to Aberdeen and then fly from Aberdeen back to Shetland.
Oh, fuck that.
So he left us at about midnight, and then I think Jade Harkin and Alicia Loomba were out as well.
Okay.
And we just ended up just finding somewhere that had somewhere to keep Brian and Liam's bags whilst we partied. Because they didn't go back to the Airbnb, they literally went straight out.
Oh, shit, really?
So Brian was walking about with his Cerberus belt
Fucking
just
hell.
around his bag.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a no for me.
I went back to number 1 best pizza. We've got a pizza. Then they told us where they were, and I was like, I want to go out, but I want to eat my pizza. So I ate number 1 best pizza, then went out.
Oh, well done. All right,
It
nice.
was a nice pizza.
Yeah.
It was probably number 1 best pizza in Wolverhampton.
I don't know, I had a Papa John's and that was really good.
I'm not a fan of Papa John's.
That's not true. Yes, you are. Everyone's a fan of Papa John's.
When I've had Papa John's, it just wasn't as good.
That's a lie and you know it.
It's not.
You are weaving your web of deceit right now. That is a lie. Papa John's is God tier pizza.
I don't agree.
Well, you're wrong.
The garlic sauce isn't as good as just like a normal pizza shop garlic sauce.
The garlic mayonnaise is nice. That garlic butter shit that they give you is fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get the garlic mayonnaise. You don't have to have that fucking horrible garlic buttery shit.
I might give it a try another time.
All right.
When we go up to Glasgow for Worlds.
Can't wait. I actually cannot wait for that.
Just need to work out when I'm going up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether to go up on the Thursday or the Friday. With my weigh-in being 6 p.m.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a
We'll figure that one out. Yeah. Right, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you've got this far, if you haven't got this far, you can go fuck yourself because
absolutely.
you're not going to hear that anyway. I am actually wearing shorts. They are just incredibly small. If you've been wondering if I'm in my underwear, I am not.
The same size shorts where I had out my deadlift.
Shout out to Mark Falconer, the owner of Apollyon Apparel. Apollyon
Yes.
Apparel sponsored this stream. They also provided all of the T-shirts for the competition. They're also going to be providing the T-shirts for Europe's and for Worlds.
And for my Stone qualifier.
And for the King of the Strands Northern qualifier.
Really nice T-shirts.
Massive shout out to Mark, because not only did he do that, but he also crewed the event.
Yeah.
And he's recently displaced his kneecap.
Yeah.
The silly
And then dropped a
bastard.
stone on his ankle.
And then dropped a stone on his ankle. And he's running Farmers. And on commentary, I was like, please don't do that, Mark. You've got some recovery to be doing.
He knocks it out of the park with the names on the back of the shirt.
It was class, really good.
Like, that is not just because Mark did it, but it's generally my favourite comp tee. He did put Kingfisher on the back rather than Fisher.
It looked like a good T-shirt, and I like
they're really comfortable. The big Apollyon apparel, the stone effect that was on it, really fucking cool as well. So that is getting framed. It's getting put on my wall.
Yeah, and it's like so. Some comp tees, like I don't want to shit on someone, but you know the PSL comp tees.
Yeah,
it was for the novice, I think, where they had the fucking Lake District Stronghold Club at the bottom.
Yeah,
I didn't like it, man. It didn't look good.
No.
When
it's so low as well, like it's under a belt half the time.
Yeah.
So many people, like you could have someone wear a belt for every single event.
I don't.
You can't see it.
I don't want to shit on them, but that's the only thing I didn't like about that show. It was I just didn't like the placement of it. I would have rather it been somewhere else on the.
I think I was speaking with Mark about the way that he'd done the names, and he said that he'd seen the ones that they'd done for the PSL where it was the flag and then the name over the top of the flag. And it just looked. He said it looked a little bit messy. It was hard to read some of the names. Yeah. So like putting the flag through the name made it easier to read the name. And
Mark's good at what he does. So everybody, right now, go and buy some merch from Apollyon Apparel. You can buy some T-shirts on there, hoodies, vests. I believe are now on there. Oh,
I'm wearing the logged and loaded one that he just made us. So.
Yeah, there you go. Logged and loaded as well. You can also buy the Stay Natty T-shirt. That is available on there. Go do that.
Supremely comfortable.
They're really good quality.
really like this. It's not just like we're plugging up because he sends us stuff. Genuinely, like really nice.
Yeah,
really nice kid.
Yeah, we don't get paid for this.
No,
like we like the stuff and we think Mark's cool as fuck and he does a lot for the sport. He also designed. Well, he didn't design, but he made my my hoodies.
Also, supremely hoodies.
Yeah,
supremely
they're
comfortable.
fucking mint.
Like,
yeah, they're thick as fuck.
I've got your branded one and I've got the Apollyon one.
Yeah.
And I fucking live in them.
Yeah, they're nice
like,
hoodies.
When I'm not at work, I am in one of those two hoodies. And I thought I got the nicest, most comfortable hoodie at Christmas with my Peter Slut one from Samson. But no, these are somehow more comfortable than that.
He doesn't skimp on the quality.
No, he really does not.
Right, guys, that concludes the podcast for today. Thank you all for watching. Again, I've said it before. I hope you like the shit that we've got going on. We've also got a plant. If you move your foot, you show the plant. We've got a plant. Yeah, the plant's not visible, but
because of my legs.
Because of your legs. But we'll figure out how to make it visible. Probably just put it behind me, actually. So leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought of UK's Strongest Natural Man and Woman. Let us know what you think of the new studio setup layout.
Yes.
And say congratulations to Mr. Thomas Pfisterer. Right, we're going to leave it there.
Yes, we are.
As always, go fuck yourselves.